Hello, everyone. It's Michael Jaco with Unleashing Intuition Secrets. Boy, we got a lineup. It's about to hit the fan, right? So a lineup of stuff that's coming through. Now, James Comey was just indicted on false statement charges. Now, this had to happen here pretty soon because he made those false claims to Congress. And the deadline for actually indicting him is coming up at the end of this month. So, earlier this month, President Trump had asked for, or kind of like put the pressure on Pam Bondi to basically start prosecuting these people. So here we go. And that's, comes not long after we had the awakening process that I call the, shooting, Charlie Kirk shooting event. So a massive awakening process that's happening. People are having to think. People are having to look at all the things that are coming from that shooting. All right. So we're going to talk a little bit more detail about the latest, because I told you guys that they're going to continue to come out with all these different scenarios to try and make that fit, right? And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But the Justice Department charged former FBI Director James Comey on Tuesday with making false statements and obstruction. Finally, right? People familiar with the matter said, securing an indictment days after President Trump demanded the prosecution and ousted the U.S. attorney who hadn't found cause to bring it. Comey had been under investigation for what prosecutors said were lies he told during the 2020 congressional testimony concerning the Bureau's earlier investigation of the Trump campaign's ties to Russia, collusion, Russia in the 2016 election. So Trump recently came out. He was asked inside the White House. Press was in the Oval Office, and they're asking him questions if Barack Obama was guilty. So he basically came out and said, yes, he's going to be prosecuted too. And so he brought up Comey, he brought up Brennan, Clapper, Joe Biden. He said all of them were in that same room, Oval Office, and had determined that they were going to try and overturn the election, right? So this is something that happened in 2016. And Trump made the case that it happened in 2020 as well. And Obama is the ringleader, right? So we're going to see probably Obama get indicted as well. Now, we're already seeing James Comey. I guess they've already called Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton as the last one towards the end of October. So we've talked about this. A lot of people didn't believe it. A lot of people have been naysayers. A lot of people have whined and cried. And now here it is. All right. So now stand by. Be careful what you wish for, right? Now, I knew shit was going to hit the fan. I've said this for over 5 years. Before the 2020 election, people were already starting to talk about civil war, right? So the charges come after Trump publicly questioned why the Justice Department hadn't brought cases against several of his key adversaries, including Comey, and called on Attorney General Pam Bondi to act quickly. So she had to act quickly because the expiration date for when they could come after him for lying to Congress, like I said, is the end of the month. So that's very interesting. Things are moving along. And moving along very quickly. So what else is going on? What else might you be thinking? Well, weren't we going to have military tribunals? Yeah, we were and probably have been, but it's going to be public here pretty soon. Pete Hegseth calls alarming meeting with hundreds of military leaders. I can tell you from my, since I've been alive, since I've served, so we're looking about, I served, 24 years in the military SEAL teams, and then 11 years in the CIA. Before that and after that, so we're looking at, I guess, around 60 years that I can remember. I'm almost 65 in a few days. So since I'm 5, I'm pretty much aware from 5 years old on. A little bit before that, but definitely at 5 years old. I don't ever remember anything like this. So this is definitely something's going down. All right. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has urgently called on hundreds of U.S. military officials around the globe for a spontaneous meeting at a Marine Corps base in Virginia next week. So next week, we're going to see this. And the gathering remains top secret, right? So who's going to leak that? Who's going to be one of those generals or admirals that's going to be on the chopping block? There's probably going to be a lot of these guys. There are approximately 800 U.S. generals and admirals in total, and Hegseth has said that he's going to reduce their numbers by 20%. Is this why? I don't think so. He's calling the meeting. I think shit's going to hit the fan. Now, are we going to like go to war? War here in the U.S.? That's why he's recalling them all. We don't need them overseas anymore. We're going to need them right here in the United States, right? The message shocked members of the U.S. military who could not recall another instance in which a defense secretary summoned so many commanders for a sudden in-person meeting. I can never remember it ever. Going back, I'm pretty much a history buff, right? And I don't ever remember anything like this. Maybe it's happened in the past. I wouldn't doubt it, probably during the World War or just before World War. Because once the war kicks off, guys, their business. So I would say right now it was like one of the few times that we could recall the entire military, not all of them, but the head shed, the top generals and admirals, and have a meeting like this. So I think this meeting is going to be very interesting. I wonder if when we're going to get the details of, or some sort of idea what this is about. My best guess is we're probably going to kick Venezuela's ass, and there's going to be turmoil here in the United States. All right. So once these arrests start, like with Comey and Hillary and all these other people that have been part of treasonous activities, and they're sent down to military tribunals. Now, do they have to go to Guantanamo? No, they can go right offshore on a Navy ship. All right, they can be flown out to a Navy ship and stand trial out there. That's right, out in international waters, not attached to the United States, kind of like Guantanamo, but on a Navy ship. Right, so military tribunal on a Navy ship, and that could be part of what they're going to talk about. So Hegseth has talked about a massive overhaul of America's defense systems, promising to massively slash staffing. Now, Trump has just recently said that he's going to massively slash the government workforce, and the Democrats don't like that because that's who votes them in, because they get paid to be doing nothing. So Trump is like, I'm going to slash it. And so they're not going to pass the government spending bill in October 1st. So again, more turmoil. Are they going to do that because they don't want the military to come and, kick their badass bullshit in their cities, Democrat hellhole cities? Could be. But I think there's enough people within Congress and the Senate, like in the past, have done emergency funding, especially for the military. So regardless of what happens, if these guys in the next few days don't pass the spending bill, which they usually do, they always play games like this. But if by chance they don't, things have reached a certain level, which I think they have, strong possibility that they won't pass it, and that's because the Democrats, it has to be a certain percentage that pass these bills, and if you have all the Democrats like they normally do align against it, then it's probably not going to go through, right? So we have the probable firing of 100 generals and admirals, instituting a minimum 20% reduction in the number of four-star officers across the military and the National Guard, and a 10% reduction to the number of generals and admirals. So we're overstaffed, really, guys. If you look at the numbers in World War II, the numbers of top generals and admirals, we have way more. I don't know what the numbers are. I think I saw one time it was like 4 or 5 times, something crazy, the number of generals and admirals that we had during World War II, right? While we're at a world war, but yet we have more now. Why? Yeah, so chop that shit, right? I can tell you that I could have run the show myself better than a lot of these officers guys. So you get some good senior non-commissioned officers. You got some good ones, and they can make up for cutting a lot of this fluff that's out there right now. All right. So that's probably going to happen. Maybe they're going to be talking about that. Probably will talk about that. But bigger picture, I think, is what's coming for the United States. All right. That's my best guess, because this is unprecedented. Like I said, we're not going into a world war. Right. There's no sign of that anywhere. We could be kicking Iran's ass, which Russia and China have said that they're going to align with Iran. So who knows? Maybe it could turn into World War III. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. But I think they're if they don't tell us that's why some of them have come, I think that we're going to find out at some point that, especially when shit starts to hit the fan in these big Democrat hellhole cities, that is why they were called in to prepare for that, right? So will that happen right away? It's already happening on certain levels now, right? So I said it's not going to be long till we have the shooting. Now, we just had a shooting in Dallas, Texas, where another nutflake, a leftist nutflake, with what looks like another, bolt action, or whatever, the guy supposedly used at the Charlie Kirk shooting. Now everybody's like, because of guys like me, have been out right in the beginning, said there's no way that's not the kind of trauma that you would see from that kind of round, right? And of course, there's been others that have come out, Derek Johnson and so many more that have big cojones, right? You don't even start if you don't have some big cojones talking about this stuff. Ooh. So we have come out right away. I especially have come out right away and set the standard. And now everybody's talking about it. Everybody's trying. And then there's those that have well-meaning that are trying, some of them, not all of them. I think some of them are just informationalists, just like we've seen for a long time now. Because if you still subscribe to Charlie Kirk actually being shot and killed, then after you've seen my presentation, and now I just did a show yesterday with Derek Johnson and Brad Wozny on the Sovereign Soul show, all right, Rumble channel. If you haven't seen that, that's a good one, because we went and I went in a place that I've never gone before talking about stuff. So you want to watch that, all right? And while I was talking about it, of course, I went off for a little bit. So I was over the target. But came back and I stopped using three-letter agency calling them out. So then I was able to talk. But we're going to see still, I think some people try and make this fit. He was not killed. He was not killed. It's all part of a military operation. Even his wife, part of a military operation, guys. She's part of it too. She's You know, there, I don't know if there, well, I assume there are a couple, but if there are a couple, there are military operation couple, right? So that's what we're seeing with a lot of this stuff, and I'm gonna go in detail, like I said, about that. So we have all those admirals and generals who are coming in, and they're going to be talking. And then there's another one that Pete Hegseth has requested, and that's approval for the first U.S. military execution in 60 years following the Fort Hood mass shooting. Nidal Hassan killed 13 people in the 2009 Fort Hood shooting and has exhausted all appeals. Now, remember when he did that because we were going to go to war with Muslims, and he's a Muslim. Now, there were a lot of people in the military that had worked around him and said, this guy, you need to take a hard look at this guy, and no one ever did, Obama. All right, so the Pentagon is preparing to ask President Donald Trump to authorize the execution of Nidal Hassan, the former Army major convicted of carrying out the 2009 mass shooting at Fort Hood in Texas, a senior Department of Defense official said. Now, he wounded 32 others in the attack. Killed 13, wounded 32. Those are kind of interesting numbers, right? 13, that's like the Illuminati, satanic number. And then 32 degree Mason, so all these numbers, it's like, just kind of random. It just happened that way. So Hassan entered Fort Hood Soldier Readiness Center armed with a semi-automatic pistol and opened fire on fellow service members preparing for deployment. This is weird. I always thought it was weird. But of course, those of us that were transporting ammunition and weapons in the SEAL teams, we could have a sidearm. But otherwise, you cannot have a weapon on base. So there is no, Second Amendment on bases. That's right. So you can't have a weapon on a base. The only people who have weapons are the security forces, all right? The MPs and security force. There a lot of bases have hired security forces now. And a lot of those security forces are former, like what was really cool when I was at SEAL Team 6, we had security forces that we hired, and they were all Vietnam vet SEALs. God, we used to have those guys come and give us, talks about their combat experience in our team rooms. Oh my God. Whew. Brings me to tears just thinking about it. Oh. All right. So, wow, that was some good times. All right. So Pentagon had categorized the massacre as an act of workplace violence, right? A decision, of course, that's during the Obama time frame, a decision that drew sharp criticism from lawmakers, victims' families, and national security experts. They argued it obscured the ideological and terrorist motivations behind the attack. In 2013, the military jury convicted Hassan and sentenced him to death. After years of appeals, Hassan's final legal challenge was rejected in April 2025, clearing the way for execution. So I am 100% committed to ensuring the death penalty is carried out for Nidal Hassan. Department of War. Yay, I like that name. Much better than Department of Defense. Defense is like it's like stop. It's defensive word. It's like not offensive. Department of War is an offensive word. So we need to be offensive, right? I used to teach that in the hand-to-hand program that I used to teach in Navy SEALs. First one, I started it. Yay. All right, the savage terrorist deserves the harshest lawful punishment for his 2009 mass shooting at Fort Hood. The victims and survivors deserve justice without delays. Hassan is one of just 4 prisoners facing the death penalty under military jurisdiction. All right. So future convictions of treason. Mm-hmm. Paving the way for that. Now, let's go into a few other things. And I'm going to talk about quite a few things. And I'm also talk about how Muslims are saying that they're going to have Sharia law here in America, and they're going to vote it in, or they're going to bring it in with bullets, right? So maybe this execution of Nidal Hassan will be a little shot across the bow of these people thinking they're going to do further terrorism in America. You think that's going to work? I think that once we execute the old boy that deserves it, that these people are going to be outraged. I think they're going to get outraged, guys, and we're going to have some problems with them, right? And that's, again, another reason to bring those guys back and those leaders and talk about some issues that might be coming for America, right? Because President Trump has talked very strongly about Muslims and Sharia law at the UN. I don't know if you saw any of that speech, but he talked about how London was horrific in London now because they have a Muslim mayor that they're talking about having Sharia law in London, right? So now you have these radicals in America that are starting to say the same thing. All right. So 9 years before the emergence and outbreak of the coronavirus, almost COVID-like situations were depicted in the movie Contagion, which was released in the year 2011. Similarly, so that was before, we had the Contagion that came out 10 years before, or 9 years really. A Simpsons video episode titled "The City of New York versus Homer Simpson" that originally aired in the year 1997 was very similar to events that happened in 9/11 in 2001, several years later. There are many other fictional incidents from various books, movies, and TV shows that almost seem to predict what later happened in real life. Yes, I'm talking about predictive programming. Predictive programming. Consider the early depictions of futuristic texts like AI, robots, and virtual reality, for example. Remember Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? Remember that? The Terminator, I'll be back, right? So, God, could you imagine one of those Terminators running around? How about an army of them running around America? Oof. Predictive programming is a theory devised by conspiracy theorists like myself. It claims, I didn't devise it. It just is what it is. All right. We're basically we're pointing out all this nonsense that these knuckleheads. I'm being very kind with that word, knucklehead. It's not a term of endearment. Right? It claims that the government or groups of elites are using fictional movies or books on a mass mind control tool to make the population more accepting of planned future events. So your average normie or liberal that would read something like this would go, "Oh yeah, that's like that Michael Jaco guy." Or who else we got? Scott McKay, or my other brother Nino. So yes, we're all conspiracy theorists, and so that's program. We're all programming you to like fight against the elites, right? Predictive programming is not a scientific theory, but a notion developed by contrarians and conspiracists who believe that the world is run by a totalitarian government of lizard people. All right. So let's just take it to a stupid level, and then everybody goes, "Oh yeah, that's stupid. That's stupid." That's kind of like my best Bill Clinton. All right, conspiracy theorists claim that in order to prevent any sudden resistance or hostile action from the general public, the supreme totalitarian organization keeps adding subtle references to its planned future events in popular media, so that when the event happens for real, like just recently, Snake Eyes, Have you guys seen the stuff on snake eyes? I'm going to show you the snake eye stuff. The event happens for real. The public is already mentally retarded, prepared and receptive to the new developments in the society. The notion was first described and proposed by conspiracist Alan Watt. I don't know if he first composed it, but maybe he put a name to it, who defines predictive programming as a subtle form of psychological conditioning provided by the media to acquaint the legacy media, not the truthers, right? To acquaint the public with planned societal changes to be implemented by our leaders. If and when these changes are put through, the public will already be familiarized with them and they won't get out of control. So that's why they do it. Sounds reasonable to me, right? Those lizard people, right? Those mean old lizard people. All right, so let's go down the rabbit hole a little bit on this. All right, all of us have talked about this so many times. Predictive programming. Let's go ahead and look at this and let's see what you guys think.
Hey guys, welcome back. It shows a huge video for you here. Predictive programming for the Charlie Kirk ritual. There's a movie called Snake Eyes, which came out in 1998. And in that movie, U.S. politician Charles Kirkland is assassinated at a live event by a shot through the neck. Charles Kirkland, like Charles Kirk. And obviously, Charlie Kirk was also shot in the neck, allegedly, right? Well,
all right, so look at these pictures. You see the tip of the spear, little hand gesture there. President Trump does this all the time. And Elon Musk actually visited during the memorial for Charlie Kirk at a stadium that they had reserved all the way back in May, right? So it was reserved back in May by what's the Charlie Kirk group? The what is it? Like futuristic. Changing perceptions or predictive programming. I don't know what do they call themselves. Yeah, so they're basically had come out a long time ago, back in May, and they reserved that stadium in May. For what? For what? All right. All right. So I don't know. It's was it a turning point? Was it a turning point? Predictive programming? What's going on here? What's going on here? Now, as we look at this, so you see, Charlie Kirk, he's got that, spear point, right? Some people have called it other things, but I call it this pointy end of the spear. You're like a leader. You're, pushing into consciousness. Now I'm going to talk about a lot of this stuff, and you're going to hear a lot of this stuff, and some people are going to go, oh, look at that. These people are all evil. We can't trust Trump or any of these people. It's a captured military operation. And when you start to look at it like that, guys, you stop yourself, just like you stop yourself when you see Charlie Kirk not shot, right? And all of the people that come out with all their different conspiracies, how many have come out every day? I told you every day we're going to see a new one, right? Every day. There's a new one today, right? So today it's the microphone blew up. The microphone blew up. Remember how his chest inflated? Now they're saying the microphone blew up and it went through his neck and came out there. Well, I don't see where it went in anywhere, but whatever. And remember the guy in the brown shirt that looked like he had like a little hand gun? Now we have new video, I guess, that zeroes in on him. And it looks like he's activating the switch for that's the latest thing, for the microphone that blew up and blew through his throat. That's the latest, all right? There's a lot of people pushing that out there. And so now that's what it is. Of course, he wasn't shot from the roof by that big old caliber bullet that they said for days and days and days and days and days and days and days that it was. Because now Mike Jaco and all those other people have come out and said that big bullet would blow his friggin' head off almost. So, and it would blow out the back and there'd be blood everywhere. And so everybody, oh, well, we have to make this fit then. It's somebody shooting from this. No, it's somebody shooting from. So we're going to continually do these things until people get tired of it. So it's part of exercising your minds. That's what it is. You're exercising your critical thinking. And you're getting exercise pretty good, aren't you? Some of you guys are running from rabbit hole to rabbit hole, right? Stop yourself. Listen to the expert. He wasn't shot. He wasn't shot. So let's look at some more of this.
In the movie Snake Eyes, the heavyweight boxer Lincoln Tyler is in the ring during the assassination. Tyler, like Tyler Robinson. And in Gematria, Lincoln Tyler is 165, like Tyler Robinson is 165. And his nickname is the Executioner, okay? Well, the big part here, guys, in the movie Snake Eyes, the assassination occurs on September 10th.
Now, this is where everybody gets screwed on going down these rabbit holes. This one's a good one because this is real. This is not make-believe here. This happened in 1998. When was Charlie Kirk born? 1998. Wow. That's pretty crazy, right? So if you look at this stuff and you get crazed by it, which is absolutely possible, and something doesn't fit, like the date, September 10th, like they're talking about here, from what I've heard, it says it nowhere in the movie. It's September 10th. So did the other group insert this into the truth? Because I believe that the Black Hats basically had planned this. And this was part of, because they like to show, look, we're like gods. Just everything seems to line up. No, you manipulate everything so it lines up and it seems like you guys are gods, but you're not. You're POSs, right? And those of us that are awakened aren't so fun, aren't thinking so much fun for you, right? Yeah, we're thinking military executions for you, all right? So not so much fun. Not so much it's fun for you, joking us and killing us off and laughing about it, probably betting on it, all that kind of crazy stuff. But we're not too happy about that anymore. Now there are military types that are part of disclosure, guys. And we've seen some of them come in and give us information over the years, and they've done a really good job. But we're waking up, I believe, a lot faster than they're ready to allow us to. So now they're becoming the controllers, like the deep state, in my opinion. So they need to get with the program and start to wake up at the speed that we are, right? Otherwise, they're going to get left in the dust, and they're going to become alienated, and they're going to get pushed aside. All right. So while I'm speaking, I see there's 2,222 people watching me. So that's a yes from the universe, right? So God does speak in ways to us, and I think that's one of them right there that we're looking at. All right. So that's not a deep state. I didn't manipulate those numbers. I wasn't watching those numbers the whole time. It's like, it's getting close, it's getting close. Yeah, there it is. And so what I'm saying, yeah, but I think what I just told you is pretty relevant. I think God wanted that to come through. And, sometimes I look at some of my shows, and I'm like, I said that? Dang, that's good. It's like, in my books, when I wrote The Intuitive Warrior, I read some of those lines, and I'm like, holy moly, what was going on with me back then? I was so smart. I'm not so much so now. No, I am, but that's kind of the way it is when you're tapped in, guys.
Charlie Kirk was allegedly assassinated on September 10th. Can you believe this, guys? You guys got to share this with everyone you can. This is undeniable. And also, see how Nicolas Cage is doing the hands like Charlie Kirk. Also, Donald Trump does that hand sign. And also, we're in the year of the snake right now. It's called Snake Eyes. But wow, just you put.
Yeah, and the year of the snake. So they probably planned it. Everything was planned. It got hijacked by the White Hats. And they're like, we're just going to play it out like they were going to play it out. And we'll use this against them. We'll push this out there. People will see this and they'll go, well, the White Hats are all fucked up. And then somebody smart like me will come along. It's a military operation. Hello. And then people were like, oh, yeah, I knew that. I knew that.
Put that all together. Charles Kirkland shot in the neck. Lincoln Tyler equals Tyler Robinson. And you're telling me the assassination in the movie happened on September 10th, the same day the Charlie Kirk event happened? Oh my goodness. And guys, I can't take credit for this. Shout out to Bernardo Soares, sorry. He left me this comment. I also saw him on the Ball Don't Lie channel.
All right, so let's go down this. I'm going to click on this. A lot of people made some nice comments in here. So you can read through these. Platinum blonde hair in a white satin suit. So here's a little bit of it right here. Paramount Pictures presents. So you see Nicolas Cage. So you notice, remember how Nicolas Cage, he was the hottest actor for a long time. He's still great. I love Nicolas Cage. But he must have pissed off his controllers because they basically destroyed his life. And now he seemed to be making these B-grade movies, but there's disclosure going on in those movies, guys. All right. So I think he turned. He turned against the deep state, and he's working for the White Hats now. He's working for the White Hat military.
There's the man who was lied by one. And now the distinguished Secretary of Defense.
Great idea. Put a flashing light on your head while you're at it.
Why are you so uptight? It's fight night.
Running security tonight. I got a lot on my mind.
Watch carefully.
That seem right to you?
Kevin, that is right in so many ways.
No, I mean, beautiful woman alone at a fight.
A crime is about to be committed.
Now listen to me, Mr. Secretary. I am telling you, you're the one that's going to be sorry.
You will be a witness. And the hardest thing to spot will be the truth. I'm a homicide detective and a material witness. You can't hold 14,000 people. Those are 14,000 eyewitnesses!
All right. So, I mean, at Charlie Kirk event, how many witnesses were there? How many people had that event on their phone? Why can't we see those? All right. So, interestingly, the production spent 2 weeks on location in Atlantic City, New Jersey, filming at the Trump Taj Mahal. I've been to Trump Taj Mahal back when it was cool, right? It was a nice casino, and then it went downhill. But look up the birthdays of George Floyd and Charlie Kirk, October 14th, 1973 for George Floyd. And so it's got to be, where is it? It's not showing Charlie. Charlie is October 14th, 1998 when this movie came out. So I don't know why it's not showing it. But anyway, that's what that is. Maybe you have to click on it. So there's a lot of interesting things in this. Believe everything except your eyes. Anything but your eyes, all right? So there's a lot of insights into this. I just kind of scroll down and look at what people are saying. In the Bible, the name Jezebel means exalted or Baal or potentially where is the prince. So they're basically saying Jezebel. They're trying to say that his wife is a Jezebel. So you're seeing different stuff that's inserted by both sides, right? Because this was supposed to be an operation of the deep state, shock everybody, just like a 9/11 event, but it got captured, guys. just like President Trump's assassination attempt, it was captured operation. Just like the guy that was waiting to shoot him on the golf course, they basically shut that down. All these things were basically known about, and they've been basically exposed. All right, so there's some other stuff in here, but I'm not seeing it. Maybe I saw it in another thing. All right, anyway, that's good enough for that. Let me go back to my page. And now we're going to look at some other stuff. All right, so here's the latest stuff that's going on out there. So the internet is buzzing wildly about Charlie Kirk conspiracy theories. This is a strange video about what happened after Charlie fell to the ground. Most are wondering what these men are putting in their pockets. All right, so are they really putting anything in their pockets, or what's going on? Maybe they are. All right, so let me walk you guys through this from my point of view as a former military and security guy that was in charge of security guys. Right. So let's blow this up just a tad here so you guys can see what I see. All right, so we're going to kind of focus on this guy, this security guy. Looks like he has, he might have body armor on. I'm not quite sure, but it looks like he has, weapons and probably pistols around his waist there. Now, once a shot goes off, he leaves his position at the front security and leaps over the table very quickly. See how he's looking downward right now, where Charlie Kirk was taking down to the ground. Now, be aware that there is a trap door right there. There's a trap door. Now, that trap door probably, to go into the electrical, and I guess they have a water fountain, all that kind of stuff. So probably what it is, but looks like it was probably big enough for somebody to be inside that. All right, so just keep that in mind. So this guy, as you see, he goes around the table. People are coming in, a little hectic there, but then he runs away. Why would speaking from experience, why would a protective detail guy come in, look down, and then get up and run away? And then you're going to see this from the other guy that was in the front too, right? So let's go in here. So it looks like he's grabbing something. So this guy in brown appears to give him the remote detonator. So this is kind of a theme, today's theme, where the guy that supposedly everybody said he had like a hand pistol, which I said that's ridiculous. You could not be that accurate firing from your shoulder with a small caliber and hit that. So that was completely ridiculous, right? So that's faded away. And now we're saying, because I guess another camera angle came in, and you can zero in on it now and get a close up, and it looks like he's activating something. He perhaps activated, as they're saying, the microphone that blew up in his throat. So there's Stu Peters is saying these are all Mossad agents, right? Yeah, I don't know, but maybe they're Mossad agents, but they didn't kill Charlie Kirk, right? Because Charlie Kirk didn't die, at least in that scene. That's completely manufactured. All right, so he grabs that, he runs away. It looks like the guy, hit him, gave him something. Now, here we are back to the front. See this big bald guy like me? And here's the other guy that jumps over the table. So you see them basically in a position to handle the crowd, because these crowds are leftist loons. Even now, there weren't. If Charlie Kirk were to go into like just a typical New York City leftist loony crowd, he would be overrun, right? At least, as you guys can see here, they put up fencing. He's at a distance from them, and he's got some badass security. These guys look like maybe former Navy SEALs or Rangers or, special forces guys, Green Beret, whatever. Got that look, right? I don't know if they are. I heard he had, former SEALs in his detail. So these guys could be it. So here's those two guys. These are security guys, right? Right there in front. Now watch these guys. You see the one guy leap over the table. Boom. Now here's the bald guy. I think it gets a little bit better over here. Yeah. Now watch this bald guy. He's like, oh, it's time for me to do what I was told to do. Probably not the sharpest tool in the shed, but anyway, he basically moves and then he gets down. It shows him getting down right there. He's down. He's down low right there. He's like crawling. And then he gets up. That's where he gets up, right there. And then he runs away. And then he runs away. Of course, you got people screaming. Those are probably paid people to scream and do all that kind of crazy stuff. But that's Melissa Red Pill. That's a good one. So Stu Peters has that one. There's a lot of people sharing that right now and trying to talk it up and make it make sense. Like I said, you're not going to make it make sense because it's not a shooting. Stop yourself. It's a military operation like this. All right. So here is the military operation in your face. All right. Okay. So we're going to go a little bit into his wife, supposed wife, or the person playing his wife, or, because we know we have multiple central casting people all over this, right? All over this, in and out, doing different things. So she is, I believe, a military operative as well, just like Charlie Kirk. And we're going to go through some of this. So maybe the deep state was going to try and make her look bad, all right? Or maybe she's involved in all this stuff and it's basically so that just like when I was in the Middle East and I grew my hair out and I got nice and dark and put on their shalwar kameez, their clothing, and walked like they do, not swinging my arms, right? And dressing like I said, dressing like they do. Growing a beard out so I look like a distinguished gentleman. I put on a jacket, suit jacket over my shalwar kameez, and I had my little white hat on, and everybody thought I was a distinguished gentleman, right? I get away with a lot of stuff. So if you're Charlie Kirk's wife and she wins Miss Arizona, we know we have problems in Arizona. So as Miss Arizona, she's going to have access, all right? She came from nowhere, never having done a beauty pageant before, modeling or anything, and became Miss Arizona. She was also part of a group that was part of adoption, Romania, and it was linked to child trafficking. So she probably went in to infiltrate and come up with information about it. That's my thoughts, right? So a lot of people are like, oh, look, she was part of pedophilia. She won Miss Arizona and she's never trained before. And look at her rings. It looks like Masonic. It's like, this is all part of blending in and fooling people, guys, so that you can do operations within and get stuff done, right? This is how we got Osama bin Laden. Right? By me dressing up and hanging out and looking like a local and getting picked up by a guy that basically was a doctor that led us to Osama bin Laden, right? So let's move through this a little bit. There's that MG, Masonic looking stuff, right? Is that really what it is? And there she is making some kind of crazy, when she did that, I was like, what? So people are saying that's about love, all right? The fingers like that, the horn fingers. But if you put the thumb out, supposedly it's about I love you. All right, this is what they say about the horn hand, sometimes called mano cornuto. This gesture and its variations is the satanic salute of recognition between members of Satanism, Freemasons, and the Illuminati. This hand gesture was made famous by Helen Keller and pawned off as the sign for I love you. It is anything but. Helen Keller was a follower of well-known Satanist and Freemason Helen Blavatsky and made famous the work now utilized the hand signature used worldwide, exposing the satanic world government. So is she basically exposing the satanic world government? It's like we own this event, and here's your signal, your sign in your face. That's what I think. All right. You can think whatever you want, but that's what I think. All right. So there he is, giving her a hug. Good job. Probably fooled a lot of them. All right. So there she is. Trump. So Trump owned Miss USA, Miss International, blah, 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 all the beauty pageants at one time. So he could probably say, I want this person to win, right? That's probably what happened. All right. Now, here she is, Miss Arizona. Do you see anything interesting here? See anything interesting here? Come on. Use your critical thinking. Use your critical thinking. All right. Come on, don't make me say it all. All right. The Pentagon, Department of Defense, Miss Arizona. Hello, military operation. Department of Defense. All right, so her parents figure in the defense industry, having chaired Raytheon's Israel division. So you think that maybe, and so the Iron Dome. So you know that President Trump was talking about a golden dome. All right. So another infiltration, I believe. Remember how Q said Israel will be saved for last. So here's the Romanian angels. So here you see her. So that's been exposed as potentially a pedophile organization. Was Erica Kirk's Romanian Angels Ministry accused of child trafficking? Here's the truth on you, Turning Point USA CEO. So is this the deep state trying to defile what has come about to basically take them down? Yes, very possible. Very, very possible. Romania probes Israeli adoption agency link in organ trafficking. Was it used for that? Very possibly. And then she infiltrates and basically they take it down, right? Or, you know, some of you smarties out there are probably like, no, it was never taken down. It's still in it. I don't know. I don't know, guys. All right, the world is a stage. So possible hologram was used in the trapdoor of the Charlie Kirk shooting. All right, let me get the sound going.
Yes, Charlie was passing out hats. Yes, Charlie was there. But when it was time for the hologram to down into the stage area.
All right, so there's that trapdoor. So he was sitting over here, and they took him down in this direction, right? So was it a hologram that we were looking at? Was it a hologram? And if you want to see a really good, well, let me see, maybe I can bring it up for you. I did it in my show yesterday with Raphael. I showed where this whale comes up in this auditorium and splashes and then disappears. It's just the auditorium floor again. Everybody's like, wow. So just like on 9/11, where we see those planes just like disappearing in the building. You know, same bullshit. Holograms. So let's look. Let me see if I can find it. Well, hologram. Gymnasium floor. All right. Yep. Came right up. Good. Now let's dig around. So you guys are like, what the hell are you doing? All right. So let me switch over to this, and then I'll probably switch back over to that. This is so much fun. I love educating people. Right? I love it. And I know you guys are loving it too. All right. So Well Surprise jumps into a gym in mixed reality, exciting by Magic Leap. Wow, that's the latest and greatest. No, it's almost 10 years ago. It's almost 10 years ago. Back in May 4th, 2016. So augmented reality, of course, they're much more advanced since 9/11, of course, and from 2016. They've taken this to a very high level, guys. So it's not out of the question that what we saw there, and I've seen these holograms. I'm part of LifeWave, and David Schmidt, who's the owner and designer of LifeWave products, he uses hologram technology. And with this it's basically a box, and in this box, basically, he can stand like in Timbuktu, and he's presenting himself, and you see him in a 3D, complete 3D. It's like he's right there, and he can see you, and he can interact with you, just like we saw Charlie Kirk interacting with the audience, right? And if there's no box, and it's just a projection, like they show in this, I'll back it up a little bit. You'll see in this video that I was talking about where the area of seating and show the trap door. It looks like he could have been in a hologram, right? Projection, hologram projection down. And was that the case? I think it's very, very highly likely. So, David Schmidt, he can do it, and he can present. He can be in Orlando, where he has offices, and he can project to, offices in, Japan, Korea, and 150 other places throughout the world where LifeWave is at. And it's not, he can speak in his voice, and it will translate instantly and come out in whatever language it is in those areas. So he could be presenting, and there could be boxes all over the world that present instantaneously while he's presenting. And if someone asks a question somewhere, it will translate back to him from that language to English, right? So this is the kind of technology that's already here. And so if we look at that one video that I was showing you, we can maybe see how this was utilized as a hologram, right?
Area where he was sitting. When he supposedly falls to the ground, all the security guys surround him. You can't see nothing. They raise the trap door up. He comes out, and then they carry him to an SUV.
All right, so he was never on the surface, right? And was that really him that came out, or someone playing him? Because he may be somewhere else doing the hologram, right? And then someone else, because you got all these guys who's frantic, he could be somebody with a mask if someone would see him, which I haven't seen any pictures of him after he gets shot and taken down. And then he just they run him out. And he has one arm that's completely bloody, like it's been dipped in blood. Nothing on his shirt or beyond level where it first came out. So that's it. And no blood on, dripping. Nobody else has blood on them, although they say later that they were covered in blood, had to change their clothes, but you don't see that when they're transporting him, right? So then they all make up stories and they're all crying. You know, it's just acting. It's just you know, they hired these guys to do this. They were, I guess, security guys, and they're like, we're going to take this next level. This is what we're doing it for. Do you want to get involved? Or are they, you know, and they're like, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah. And you're going to pay me how much more? Yeah, heck yeah. So these guys are good guys, probably for the most part. A little bit of rockish going on from what I could tell, but you know, they're not leaders for the most part. But you see the guys that are videoing, you see the guy touching his hat and all that kind of stuff. You're not screwing around with your security guys. You're locked on. Your head's on a swivel. You're watching the crowd. You're watching all the movements of the crowd. You're watching the buildings. All right. Your eyes wide open. Your wide angle vision. You're seeing everything. And probably not a lot of those guys know about wide angle vision, but if they went through my hand-to-hand course, they would, or my intuition course, they would know. But you know, they don't know that kind of stuff. But you can tell that, you know, see, I see some of these guys that look like their heads on a swivel, which is good. But you didn't see that there. It's almost like they're waiting. They're waiting for the event to go down, and then they rush and do their part and then run away, right? That's what you saw.
A trail of blood anywhere because he never got shot. He was down in there the whole time. Why is he taking it down? Because it's not a crime scene. A crime.
All right, so here's the video itself.
Didn't take place here. And that's not a camera. Called a hologram projector. And if you don't believe me, you can go look them up. Trapdoors.
All right, those hologram projectors are not cheap. They're like $60, $80, $90, $100,000, right? So, but look what they're doing. The technology is over the top, right? For this time. And who knows, maybe in the future it'll be a lot less, but that's what because more people will be using it. Like maybe in the future, I will be hologrammed into wherever you're at. That might be like, you know, oh, no, I don't want that. I don't want you doing, no. But it could be, it's possible, right? So instead of me being 2D, I could be 3D hologram. People talk about this for years. The technology is here, right? Yeah, times are changing. That's right, Deborah. All right, so you know, I talked about how I saw that there was going to be a hurricane, and then there was going to be snow falling at the same time the hurricane was coming in. So we do have a couple of them. I don't know if they're going to hit, but where I'm at here in Lake Tahoe on Tuesday, looks like we're going to get some snow on the peaks here, right? Which is not unusual. I did a like 5 or maybe 5, yes, about 5 years ago now, 5 or 6 years ago. All right, so 6 years ago, I did a bodybuilding contest, won it, and then I did a beast, basically an ultra half marathon with Spartan Beast through the mountains here in Lake Tahoe. It was quite an event. Good thing I trained for a year. I leaned down for the bodybuilding contest, and just I think it was just 2 weeks later, is right after my birthday, because my birthday is September 27th. So just a few days later, and that's when it's supposed to snow here. It snowed in the mountains while we were doing, I was like, it's not going to snow until after I'm done. And I was done. I was walking through the car and it started snowing. That's part of that intuition course stuff I teach. All right. So yes, thank you for the happy birthday wishes. A little bit early, but I'm 2 days away, right? And what am I doing? I'm speaking at a Lewis Herms event when he comes out for governor of California, right? So that's a great birthday present for me, right? Because I'd love to see California come back. All right, it's hell. Yeah, leaves are starting to turn. It's beautiful here. We can't really see out there, but there was rain that was falling out on the hills because it's real cloudy right now. But before I started, there was like all the way in the distance there was rain falling. It rained a little bit here today, so we don't have to worry about and that's what I wanted because it was kind of dry when I got here. I was like, no, we're not going to burn. Right? No. Now it burned when I left. I left, and it burned to the point where they had to evacuate Lake Tahoe. Right? But fortunately, the city didn't burn. So, because I heard about it, and I was like, okay, no, stop that. And I know a lot of you guys don't understand how that works, but it does. All right. We all have that ability. And when you guys wake up to your superhuman or Superman or superhero capabilities, which we all have, you're gonna be doing some crazy stuff too, right? Many of you guys don't believe, and that's part of why it doesn't happen for you, right? And when you start to believe, you will achieve, right? So that's part of what the deep state wants. They want to keep us dumbed down so they can use us like slaves and animals and harvest us and all kind of crazy stuff, our children. So we're kind of tired of that, right? You guys tired of that? I am. I don't want that to happen anymore. Right? So I'm kind of happy. There's a lot of you that are watching. Now, here's I don't know if this is the latest. I had this up, I had to save, so I might have to refresh. This is Tropical Tidbits. You're going to go check this out yourself. So in Tropical Tidbits, you scroll down here, you look at precipitation, moisture. It's going to give you all these, and I click on total snowfall. All right. So this is today, October 5 p.m. No, that's later. That's October 1st. So let's go back in time a little bit. Let's for it. All right. So this is September 29th. And then you're going to see a little spot of blue, which is just a dusting. Start there. And you see it in the mountains of Lake Tahoe, right? So then it's going to really start to blossom, especially in Colorado. And you're going to start to see it coming in pretty heavy down through Montana, Idaho, North Dakota, Colorado, of course, the high mountains. And then in Canada, as you guys can see, it's starting to come down pretty good in Canada. All right. So, ooh, that's even more. So we got another day or two here. October 8th, starting to come down pretty, that's real significant and nice. And even going all the way down to New Mexico, October 9th. So again, I said this would be a very cold, snowy year. And I don't know how much snow we're going to get. I don't know that we're going to have records because when it gets really cold, the snow gets locked up in the polar areas, right? So we're going to grand solar minimum. Once we see basically the poles shift, right? Whenever that is, 2030, somewhere around that time frame, then we're going to see some real major changes. All right, so that's kind of my guesstimate on that. There's a couple, like I said, couple hurricanes that are kind of like forming just east of Florida. Looked like they made just kind of brush past the United States. Seems like everything's getting pushed, right? But we're still in that area, that zone where we normally get some significant earthquake or hurricane activity. All right, so just be heads up. Weather patterns are starting to build. That's right, Deborah. And Deborah, you're a smarty. What to put you up here? All right, so Deborah gets the Smarty Award today because she seems to be on top of things. Good job, Deborah. All right, so yeah, Burr is coming, Lenny. We need Nasara. So Nasara doesn't come, obviously, until basically everything gets wrecked, right? And Trump's like, okay, yeah, the Fed really screwed things up. We're taking it down, and we're giving everybody some money, right? Because we have lots of gold. And they've been stealing it from us for a long time. We got it back. And here's a piece for all the people that aren't rioting in Democrat cities. And the Democrats will be like, what? The Democrats always gave us money. Now they're not. That's why we're rioting. You're going to give it to everybody else. We're going to riot even more now because that's the way we do things. Because you said Tylenol. So all of our women that were pregnant are taking Tylenol, and of course they're going to the hospital and dying and killing their babies too. But that's the way, Trump derangement syndrome works. You don't get the money. don't get the money but being stupid, right? You got to be part of the team. All right. Okay, guys, that's all I got for tonight. Lots of love. Still more and more revelations are coming in. It's incredible, isn't it? All the stuff that's happening now. It's so thrilling. These are the things that we've all been waiting for. And here they are. I think they're happening in the most perfect time. And that's the way we always want it. This or something better in its most perfect time, right? This or something better in its most perfect time. Now, it may work out to be a little bit further out than we'd like. It's funny, I was at an event where this guy was like, he talked to God, and God told him a lot of good stuff. So he taught his young daughter how to do that. So she talked to God, and he taught her to do that, and she did it for the first time. And she was like, not what I wanted to hear. And he's like, well, what? You can share it with me. And she's like, they said that I wasn't going to get boobs till I was 14. So I don't know. I think she was like 11 or 12 or something like that. But, you're not always going to get what you want when you want it. Sometimes it's going to come in its perfect timing, right? So good stuff. All right, guys. Lots of love. Stay in the love vibration. And I will see you guys next time.